It's Kyle Madson with your top stories on Sports 1140. The Rams beat the Vikings 38-31 last night in a game that featured 50 first downs and 1,002 yards of total offense. The rest of Week 4 starts Sunday. The 49ers are on the road against the Chargers, while the Raiders come home to face the Browns in Oakland. Both kickoffs are set for 1 o'clock. The A's didn't get any help from the Rays, who fell to the Yankees 12-1 yesterday, so in order to host a wild card game, Oakland now needs to sweep their series against the Angels, which begins tonight, and they need the Red Sox to sweep the Yankees in their three-game series, which also begins tonight. A's-Angels you can hear tonight on Sports 1140, pregame 6:45, first pitch at 7:05. It's 7:01 and time to get to StocktonHonda.com anytime, anywhere.
I'm not letting you go to work today.
Wait, what?
Hey now!
Listen up.
Welcome to The Drive.
Morning.
You're gonna talk.
Get on the phone at 339-1140.
Pretty awesome, huh?
Jump in on our text line at 441140.
Everyone is talking about it. You must know that.
The Drive starts now.
All right, Sean Salisbury coming up at 7:35. I should probably text him before he comes on and tell him that my tweets about quarterbacks needing to be better protected are jokes. As Kyle brought up, that will just end up being. Sean will just come on. I won't even say hello to Sean. He'll hear the phone connect and he'll just start screaming at me. Dave Richard at 8:05 is going to talk to you about your fantasy football matchups, who to start, who to sit. And I want to ask him, too, is Cooper Kupp, where does he rank him now? Is he a wide receiver 1, 2, or 3? It's going to be tough to trust that Rams team. Teams like that make me really nervous when it comes to fantasy football. I don't mind saying I had Cooper Kupp on my bench last night in one of my leagues. It killed me. He had 43 points in one of my leagues. But I had Mike Evans, Keenan Allen, and I forget the third. But it was another good receiver. It's just tough to know. And then a lot of people are going to go start Cooper Kupp next week. A ton of people are going to start Cooper Kupp, and that might be the right move. But then maybe that's the week that Robert Woods has 3 touchdowns, or Brandon Cooks has 3 touchdowns, or Todd Gurley has 3 touchdowns. They have so many weapons in L.A. with the Rams. It's just tough. It's tough to know who's going to be open, who's going to be covered by whom, who's going to be being schemed for. Anyway, more on that later. The A's start their final series of the year versus the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, as Kyle mentioned in the update. By the way, I meant to say this, Kyle. You've said it a couple times in your update. You're talking about the football game. You're saying a game that featured 50 first downs and 1,000 and something, whatever yards. It actually sounds like you're being that guy that's making stuff up. It's like, yeah, dude, that game had so much offense. There was like 50 first downs, but there wasn't. But there was.
There was actually like 37 first downs.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude, there's like 300 first downs, like 2,000 yards in offense. It really does sound like that. But those were actually the numbers in last night's game.
I liked it because it was just a track meet, and then it looked like the Rams were going to pull away, but the Vikings kind of came back, and then there was this little bit of a lull, and then the last 10 minutes were just incredible.
I'm going to argue a side that I don't like to argue because I don't agree with it, but I'm going to try this real quick.
Somebody let me know that you have a pinned tweet that says you have a bit called Troll Friday.
Oh, thank you very much. Oh, thank you, Texter. That's a great point. I forgot to pull that down from last week. Let's go ahead and unpin that tweet. Thank you, whoever that was. We're joking. By the way, today's Troll Friday topic is that quarterbacks need more protection, basically. But I saw the reaction to last night's game, including from you and many others. Inject this game into my veins. That's something a lot of millennials say. So in reality, even though we don't want to talk about it, and we're going to hit this in 4-down territory about these numbers quarterbacks are putting up and what they really mean in the scheme of the rules. But is there a thought that maybe on some level, even though people bitch about the lack of defense, that's really what most people want?
No. I think games like last night where it was just good quarterback play.
Sure.
Where because the Vikings were there in coverage on several of those touchdowns, and Goff just threw a dime.
Sure.
Same thing with Kirk Cousins. I don't think that has anything to do with the rules. I think that has to do with two very good offenses carving up two very good defenses.
The argument to that would be that pass
and
rushers can't get to the quarterbacks. The same quarterbacks can stay in the pocket.
Why can't they get to the quarterback?
They're nervous. They're worried. They're worried about taking these guys down. The quarterbacks.
Aaron Donald
didn't have a problem with it.
Fine last night.
But the question is,
no,
you're going to
get Khalil Mack has looked fine.
You're going to have old heads saying that quarterbacks have a lot less to worry about today than they did in the 80s. That receivers have a lot less to worry about going across the middle today than they did in the 80s.
Okay, but the players are also way better now.
Sure.
Like that is just
that's the same in every sport.
It's right. It's harder. It's just harder to defend these dudes, who are massive and super fast and inside of an offense that is matching up linebackers on wide receivers.
So you think?
I think
asking
it's
you.
It's a lot of scheme.
Do you think if you today, or let's go back to last offseason so people have time. If you snapped your fingers and you changed the rules of today and made them identical to the rules of the 80s, you think we're still scoring in the same area, average score per game?
Yeah, I think so.
I could not disagree with you more. You really think that?
Yeah.
You really think?
Because it doesn't matter. Dude, Anthony Barr is not catching Cooper Kupp regardless of what the freaking rules are.
I totally understand that, but you still think wide receivers are going to run the same routes. They're going to be covered the same way. They're going to have the same ability to catch passes. You're going to have guys who are going to have the same confidence going across the middle, not having to worry about their faces being on the 50-yard line and their bodies being on the 40-yard line?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
How do you support that with logic?
Because players are good and the schemes are good, and Goff was and Cousins last night. Like I said, we're throwing dimes.
No doubt.
It wasn't like there were a bunch of plays where there was a safety in position to level somebody. Like they throw guy. We saw Adam Thielen drop a pass as he got lit up. Guys don't. Coaches don't. I should say. Scheme for that anymore.
You don't think we're discounting the mental aspect of a receiver going across the middle and literally getting jacked up like the old school TV thing was?
Sure.
And being laid out and then thinking twice before they go across the middle again?
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
It's an interesting conversation because we're going to talk about this a little bit in 4-down territory.
But I also think that offenses are so much more complicated now. And it's not just like, hey, 3 levels of passing, and we're going to have one guy run this route, and one guy's running this route, and another guy's running this route, where defenses are able to defend it. Offenses have a step up scheme-wise right now because they've learned to attack different defenses in ways that leave guys open. And don't put guys in position to have Jack Tatum debilitate them for life.
Well, and the original question was the entertainment value of the game. And even though a lot of people, in fact, I would say most people say, defense wins championships, defense is enjoyable, I enjoy defense. But let me give you an example. Last night's game versus the Titans-Jacksonville game, which it's just what I'm pulling out of my rear end here. But you have a 9-6 game versus...
Can I use a different example?
Sure.
Because Titans-Jacksonville was just bad. That wasn't two great defenses shutting down two great. That was Blake Bortles against Blaine Gabbert and an injured Marcus Mariota.
No problem.
Let's go to a classic mid 2000s, early 2010s Steelers-Ravens game. Those 20-13 games where it was Hines Ward leveling people as a receiver, and you had Ed Reed and Ray Lewis. Those games where it's good the offenses were fine. It was just defenses dominating those games. I'm in for that too. I think there's a lot of people who find that entertaining.
Which is more entertaining? Let's go extremes though. Which is more entertaining to you? A game where you have two offenses dominating and you have 70 points plus scored, or a game where two defenses are dominating and you have under 20 points scored? Now you're a discerning football guy though.
Here's what. Okay. Niners Seahawks, the peak of that rivalry, those were very fun, and I wouldn't call those overly offensive games.
Sure.
So I think I would prefer that.
Would you call them overly defensive games, though?
Two really good
I would
defenses.
say they were two
of the top 5 defenses.
Two good offenses and two better defenses.
Yeah.
I'm going extremes for a purpose, though. And I'm saying I just wonder if the game's popularity would wane if you had, in time, these rules set up as they are kind of right now that encouraged offense over defense.
I'm not sure. I think that the sport's popularity would at least level off. I don't think it would dip because more offense probably means better safety rules. And I think you get more people playing if it's a quote-unquote safer game. But no, I think people would rather see a game like last night. It was actually a pretty nice game.
I thought it was a great game.
Think about that. But I would rather see 38-31 than 6-3.
We're going to have this oncoming conversation that we're already having it, though, between your middle-aged older crowd and your younger crowd, which is typical sports. And again, this is a four-down territory question, but maybe it's good we're covering a little bit of it now because it would take the whole time. Where you're going to look at a lot of these numbers coming up and a lot of these records falling, and it's going to be tough. It's almost like I think people are going to start to look at this era like they do the steroid era in baseball, where you start to question the numbers that are being put up now because of the rules that are set up to favor offenses.
Maybe.
And that's a concern. Now, I can still enjoy the game. I just realize it's different. I realize that games being played today are different than games that were played in 1988. They're just it's a
I
different
think the
sport.
mistake that middle-aged and older people think that they matter more.
That the games back then matter more?
No, that they as people matter more than younger people.
Well,
like that I'm older and I think the old school is better, so I think this is a better game. Like, no, that doesn't matter.
No.
What the younger generation likes, frankly, is what matters.
But
that's always going to be the case.
No, that's not true.
It's always going to be
the younger generation doesn't have the money yet. Slow down. They don't have the money.
No,
yet.
But they're going to eventually.
They will eventually.
So if they're going to evolve the game
that's a circle of life.
To where sure.
By the
and
time
that's
they
what
have the money.
Yes, that's what I'm saying is it's always going to be that way.
But
I'm at some point going to be sitting here as a 60-year-old dude going, Jared Goff and Ryan Fitzpatrick, that used to be the game. And somebody will tell me like, dude, like we're evolving.
But when you do that, you're the one that will matter more. You see that? What you said was the complete opposite. It's the older generation that matters more. It's the older gen. Now, the younger demo, the 18 to 34 demo is absolutely coveted. There's no, it's
right.
Coveted,
that's what I mean.
Coveted.
Yeah.
But it's the older demo. It's the older demo that has the money. It's the older demo that the advertisers want. It's the older demo that spends more money. Let me ask you this. And we get way off track, but just going deep into ratings. Well, here's the deal. Why do you think?
Let's talk economics.
I'm really going to go off a rail and we'll take a break.
This is great.
Why do you think conservative-based radio programs regularly succeed and make more money? Glenn Beck, Rush Limbaugh, all those guys, than your Air Americas, your Al Frankens, et cetera, Sean Hannity. This is not an endorsement of them, and I don't want to get off on that track, but they appeal to an older, richer demographic that wants to hold on.
Okay.
You don't think Rush Limbaugh appeals to an older, richer demographic?
Maybe older.
And richer. No, there's no question. It's a fact.
Okay.
No, it really is.
Okay.
They have more money. The 18 to 34-year-olds spend more money.
Sure.
But the money they're spending isn't as much, if that makes sense.
Sure.
They'll spend more of their income, but that income isn't there.
Sure.
It's a circle of life. We can get out of this like this. It is a circle of life. The young people think the old people are dumb and old.
No, I'm saying I think the NFL would prefer their game to start adapting now to a more offensive game because that's what appeals to people who play video games and are going to be the older generation here in the next 10 years. I
think the trick is you're trying to pull both sides in without completely alienating both sides, and that's the massive tightrope they have to walk. You've got to bring the youngsters in.
Here's gonna be my people who go, oh, this is not even watchable. you still watch.
Well, that's dumb.
Every. Is this
extremes
even
on both
impressive?
sides are stupid.
Is this even impressive? Yeah, dude. I watched Danielle Hunter run down Todd Gurley last night. Defensive lineman Danielle Hunter run down Todd Gurley, the running back, from behind last night. Like, we were watching talent unlike anything we've ever seen, and that's, I think, going to always translate to more points because the offense is always going to be at an advantage.
We'll take a break. A's Angels this weekend. They've got a sweep, and the Yankees have to, get swept.
The A's not at an advantage.
We'll get to the CC Sabathia thing in a little bit. 4 Down Territory is next, right here on Sports 1140 KHTK.
Leaving your car away from your radio? Don't worry, because the KHTK app will allow you to catch all the shows you love. Never miss The Drive or Jim Rome. Catch every minute of The Lowdown and Grant and Doug. Just download the app now and get all your favorite shows on your digital device of choice. The all-new Sports 1140 app. Get it today.
As always, like to start these out by thanking our friends at Jiffy Lube for sponsoring our text line, thanking our friends at Jiffy Lube for helping to sponsor our video cast, for sending us down to spring training like we did with the Oakland Athletics earlier this year. They're always there for us, and they're always there to help bring more things on this station to you guys. And right now is a great time to pay back that loyalty by realizing with summer done, cold months coming up, carpooling and commuting happening all over the place. We all do it. My good friends at Jiffy Lube have your auto maintenance needs covered with oil changes, tune-ups, brakes, wiper blades, batteries, and many more services. Is your check engine light on? Jiffy Lube can help. Your brake squeaking? Jiffy Lube can help. There's over 25 different convenient locations in the greater Sacramento area to serve you. Visit them online for those valuable coupons at jiffylubeca.com. That's jiffylubeca.com for valuable coupons. Jiffy Lube. They've got you covered.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute, brought to you by Robert Half, the experts in accounting, finance, IT, legal, marketing, and administrative staffing. Hats off to my man, Yankee starter CC Sabathia. Yesterday in St. Pete, the 38-year-old southpaw, making his final start of the regular season, was fully aware that he could trigger a $500,000 incentive bonus by reaching a 155-inning threshold. Although he was cruising along in the Bombers' 12-1 blowout of the Rays, Sabathia decided some things were more important than money. Having watched Tampa Bay's Andrew Kittredge buzz Austin Romine with a high inside fastball, Sabathia retaliated by plunking Rays catcher Jesus Sucre. That pitch, CC's 55th and final one, earned him an ejection, 6 outs shy of those 155 innings. I just felt like it was the right thing to do, Sabathia said. It was, and I admire him for backing his teammates. I'm Boomer Esiason.
At Robert Half, we know finding the right employees is a job in itself, and it's a job we love. You see, Robert Half isn't just a staffing firm. We're people. People who believe in finding the right people to fit your company's needs. Because employees who are a good fit are more productive, more engaged. Finding a great candidate isn't easy, but at Robert Half, we know it's possible. Robert Half, the experts in accounting, finance, IT, legal, marketing, and administrative staffing. Learn more at roberthalf.com/radio.
You know what's not smart? The way hiring used to be. Job sites that overwhelm you with tons of the wrong resumes. Now there's a smarter way at ZipRecruiter.com/go. ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology finds the right people for you and actively invites them to apply. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S. based on hiring sites rated by Trustpilot with over 1,000 reviews. And right now, my listeners can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/go. That's ZipRecruiter.com/go.
Number 1 new and certified pre-owned Kia sales year-to-date Sacramento.
Traffic is awful.
And today is a great day to buy a car from John L. Sullivan Roseville Kia. We've grown so fast, we've added a second store in the Roseville Auto Mall for certified pre-owned Kias. Over 350 Kias and more Kia Sorrentos than anywhere in Northern California. Huge grand opening discounts. Your #1 sales leader for new and certified pre-owned Kias, the all-new John L. Sullivan Roseville Kia and certified pre-owned Kia in the Roseville Auto Mall.
Since we've had USAA, we've had 2 claims. We had an auto insurance claim and a homeowner's claim. The auto insurance claim, we were rear-ended, and my daughter was actually in the car when it happened. I called USAA. I downloaded the app, and from there on out, it was a very seamless process. They really understood, and they were actually concerned about my daughter's well-being and her safety.
From the moment he uploaded the photos to taking the damaged vehicle to the auto body and having a rental car there, USAA understands the day-to-day life This is our home. These are our cars. This is where we pick up our kids from school. This is how we get to work.
I feel USAA is very committed to getting you back on your feet. We're the Bakers, and we're USAA members for life.
See how much you could save with USAA by bundling your auto and home insurance. Get a quote today.
Ability to receive a quote depends on membership eligibility. Product membership eligibility and bundling savings restrictions apply and are subject to change. Members paid for their participation. United Services Automobile Association and its affiliate, San Antonio, Texas.
Paul Blanco wants his new Kia dealership to be number one. Paul sells 1,000 used cars a month, so Paul can afford to give good deals on new Kias just to prove a point. So use Kia's giant factory rebates and let banks compete to get you approved. Only at paulblancokia.com.
It's time for 4 down territory. On the drive, first down.
I dropped my headphones.
What an idiot.
Sorry about that. God, did I just pull something? I just pulled something. 4 down territory brought to you by Fire Wings.
I have 4 flavors left to try.
Really?
Yeah.
This is exciting.
Yeah.
Are you going to knock them out this weekend?
Probably not this weekend, but I think next week maybe.
Okay.
I'm going to go with one of these sales guys because it's the 4 hottest flavors.
Dude, you guys go seriously like every other day, which is awesome.
It's the 4 hottest flavors I have left.
Okay.
I'm not huge on spicy. Mm-hmm. But he is, so going with him will allow me to order them.
Is this Scott?
At least try one. No, it's Ron.
Other one. Ron. Yeah,
Ron is the GOAT.
Ron, don't even try to get into a spice war with Ron because Ron will. Remember those chips they put out? Not chips. What were they? A thing they came in a tiny little package. It was like one chip.
Yeah.
That was those ghost peppers.
Yeah.
They did a thing on the country station where they had him and some other people. They each took one and then they were filming them to watch them just be in agony. Ron had 2. I was that's kind of.
Ron just grabbed the bag and was just like chowing them like regular Doritos.
It was ridiculous.
Unbelievable.
So anyways, good luck to you. Fire Wings, just wing it. First down.
Mahomes, Goff, Fitzpatrick. Is this all bees?
You mean BS?
Yeah. Is this all Bill Simmons?
No, it's not all. It's not all BS.
Is it all?
First off, as he holds the emoji up to the video screen. First off, especially in Mahomes and Goff's case, this is the future of the NFL. These are maybe not those two, but we're looking at the next Mannings, the next Brady's, the next Drew Brees. Is as tough as it is to think about. But remember, once upon a time, Brady was a skinny kid out of Michigan. Drew Brees wasn't wanted by the Chargers. Peyton Manning was always really good. This is the next generation. They're very good. And every year, there's always an outlier quarterback. Remember Alex Smith last year? Not exactly Ryan Fitzpatrick of an outlier, but Alex Smith was, oh my God, he's the MVP. And then they kind of taper off.
Right.
But I would be very curious to see numbers. I don't have numbers on total offense this year versus last year versus the year before, because I do think some of these rules, and this has been happening for years now, you're trading safety in many cases for defense. So I do think we're going to start having more and more inflated scoring because of this, but not egregiously.
I think we're seeing a lot of inflated scoring due to, in part, due to the rules, because we've seen Clay Matthews extend teams' drives for having the audacity to tackle the quarterback. And instead of that team not scoring, they get an opportunity to go down and score a touchdown. So in those instances, for sure. But I think we're also seeing more complicated offenses, the use of run-pass options, the incorporation of more spread concepts into the NFL. And I think just by virtue of that, until defenses adjust, I think we're going to see offenses kind of dominate.
This isn't the first time we've seen this. You weren't alive. But when the West Coast offense and Bill Walsh hit the scene,
yeah, dude,
I was like, "What is it?"
I've done plenty of reading on it to understand.
Of course, no, and I didn't mean that in a condescending way. I'm saying that was before you were born. This was happening, and you think people are going, "Oh my God, this Sean McVay is a genius." People are like, "Bill Walsh is ruining the game. What is this?"
Right.
It was awesome, is what it was.
Right.
It was the first 5 Super Bowl rings.
And now, almost every offense incorporates some form of the West Coast.
Second down.
Second down.
What game are you looking forward to the most this weekend?
Oh gosh, I could choose this one, that one, and the other one. I'm gonna stay away from the obvious one. I will say that I will be watching very intently. It's between two. God, there's some good ones, man.
A lot of really good games this week. Maybe not good, but intriguing.
Okay, there's 4 that I'm having trouble with and one that I think's obvious. I'm going to go with the Bears and Buccaneers. Buccaneers at the Bears, Soldier Field. Buccaneers on a short week, coming off that home loss by a field goal to Pittsburgh. And really 2 teams playing each other that we still are trying to figure out if they're for real or not. But they're both 2-1. They're both surprising people. They both have their own individual stories. Khalil Mack, obviously, with the Chicago Bears, and then you have Ryan Fitzpatrick and friends with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Looks like the weather is going to be fantastic, although there is a chance at rain, which could affect, I think, Tampa Bay more than it does Chicago. A lot of games to look at here. 4 in particular, I think, Kyle. I don't want to steal yours, though. That's the one I'm going to go with.
I'm looking at Eagles at Titans.
Yeah.
Both 2-1. The Titans are getting Marcus Mariota back and healthy. He finally has feeling back in his fingers.
He does. Okay, he's able to grip and throw because that was a big thing.
Right.
Okay.
So he has feeling back in his fingers. They're getting right tackle Jack Conklin back. They had been working with Kevin Pamphile, who they signed to play guard. He was their 4th option at tackle.
Gotta love Kevin Pamphile. Huge fan of his.
He's been playing right tackle and he's not good.
Can't do that.
So I think we're going to see a different Tennessee offense this week, just in time for a very good Eagles team. And I think it's going to be intriguing because we're going to get to see if the Titans are actually good.
We'll go quick on the other 2, but by the way, bonus coverage here. Honorable mention, Bengals-Falcons.
I think
that would be very interesting. Dolphins-Patriots, or the 3-0 Dolphins.
Yeah.
And this is a fun little rivalry game that hasn't been much of a rivalry. Also, the other one I was thinking
Ravens-Steelers.
Ravens-Steelers. I think the obvious one, though, to me, game of the week is Chiefs-Broncos. I think Chiefs-Broncos Monday Night Football is going to be the game of the week.
Yeah, it should be fun.
That's going to be really fun. 3rd down.
3rd down.
I think we can go quick on this one. Are the Rams the best team in football?
Yes.
Yep.
4th down.
4th down. 4th down.
How many 3-0 teams will we have at the end of week 4?
I'm going to go out on a limb here. I think we're going to have 0.
I think we have 0 3-0 teams.
We're going to have 0 3-0 teams.
I think you meant to say 4-0 teams. How many 4-0 teams will we have?
Yeah, I'm going to say 1. I'm going to say 1. I'm going to say the Rams are going to be the 4-0 team. And let's remind everybody what we're talking about here. Your 3-0 teams in action this weekend, the Dolphins at the Patriots. I got a hard time thinking the Patriots are going to drop this one at home. I could be wrong. Patriots favored right now by 6.5. No disrespect to the Dolphins, but I do think Tom Brady is going to get his act together. And then the other one is
the Broncos beat the Chiefs.
That's the upset special of the week.
Wow, I've got the Chiefs in a runaway.
I'm saying the Broncos are going to be the first team to really, really not expose the Chiefs. There's nothing to expose. But I'm going to go back to that Mile High Stadium. I'm going to go back to that little bit of home field advantage they get, or a lot of bit of a home field advantage they get with that. And I just think Von Miller's going to get to Patrick Mahomes this weekend. We'll see. I admit I could totally be wrong. Kansas City's a 5-point favorite in Denver, but that's my upset special of the week, Kyle.
I disagree. I've got 2 3-0 teams, 4-0 teams, I mean. The Rams, obviously.
And the Chiefs.
Yeah,
all right.
I do not think the Dolphins go into New England and win.
I don't think you're I think odds are you're probably right and I'm wrong.
I think odds are your face is probably right.
Sean Salisbury's coming up next, right here on The Drive. Sports 1140 KHTK.
Feeling roasted.
Owned.
So roasted.
Sundays are made for the NFL, and we've got you covered all day on Sports 1140 KHTK.
Let's go!
Our triple header begins with the Dallas Cowboys hosting the Detroit Lions at 10.
Zone, it's Jones. He's got a touchdown.
Then the Raiders return home to face Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns at 1.
The winless streak is finally over.
And we wrap up the day with an AFC North battle with 2 heated rivals as the Pittsburgh Steelers host the Baltimore Ravens in Sunday Night Football. The NFL plays all day on Sunday on Sports 1140 KH2K. We do sports.
This is your RAM Auto Update.
When you're buying a new or pre-owned vehicle, it's important to have all the facts. And the Roseville Auto Mall believes in transparency. Things like, am I getting the biggest factory discounts available? Or, at any given time, who has the best financing available? When you get to play with all the facts at your fingertips, you not only get the car you've been looking for, you get the deal of a lifetime to go with it. Transparency. You just gotta love it. Check it out now and see what it looks like. The Roseville Auto Mall, driven to be the best.
Hey, Jason Ross here, and we all have financial questions. Like, what's the best way to use my tax refund? Do we have enough funds to renovate our kitchen? And are we putting enough money into our 401k? Whether you have questions about saving, spending, or anything in between, Bank of America's experienced financial specialists are here for you. Proudly serving the greater Sacramento area, so schedule that appointment at bankofamerica.com/conversation and start the conversation.
Chase Chevrolet is a proud sponsor of football coverage on Sports 1140 KHTK. Located on Holman Road off Highway 99 at Hammer Lane in Stockton, Chase Chevrolet has a large selection of both new and used vehicles. Come check out the new 2018 model cars and trucks on hand today. Whether you're looking for the all-new Cruze, a Malibu, Tahoe, or a Corvette, you will find it at Chase Chevrolet. Call 1-800-24-CHASE or log on to ChaseChevrolet.com. Chevrolet, find new roads. Chase Chevrolet. Buy into it.
It's California Backyard's end-of-season jacuzzi in-stock clearance. Get the lowest prices of the year on all in-stock jacuzzi brand hot tubs. Find huge savings on all in-stock J200, 300, and 400 series hot tubs. And save $3,000 off all in-stock swim spas. There's free delivery, plus everything's included. Free cover, deluxe steps, chemical setup, and more. That's a $1,375 value for free. The jacuzzi in-stock clearance at all California Backyard locations.
Two rock giants unite. Deep Purple. Judas Priest. Together on one stage. September 30th, Toyota Amphitheater. On sale now. Buy tickets at LiveNation.com. Deep Purple and Judas Priest.
The model year clearance is on now at Maida Chevy in the Elk Grove Auto Mall. Exclusive Maida Chevy all-in-stock discount pricing on every new Chevy. Hundreds to choose from. Plus, great GM rebates and incentives. All-in-stock discount savings on every Maida Chevy. Plus, over 1,500 four-star reviews. Where? You know where. MaidaChevy.com. Don't stress when you can pay less at Maida Chevy. See why everyone's saying, I made a great deal at Maida.
Have you heard the expression that knowledge is power? It's definitely true in the criminal justice system. I'm attorney Darren Kavanoki with your 1-800-NO-CUFFS Legal Minute. Here's 3 quick tips to help protect your legal rights. First, the right to remain silent only helps if you exercise it, so please shut up. Next, if police want to search you or your stuff, consider just saying no. You don't have to consent. And if you're stopped for suspicion of DUI, think about politely declining those roadside gymnastics like standing on one leg. Did you know those tests are optional? The police won't tell you, but you don't have to do them. The more you say, the more you do, the better the chance you're leaving in handcuffs. Repeat after me. I'd love to, officer, but my lawyer would kill me. Please call 1-800-NO-CUFFS. The real pro tip is to put 1-800-NO-CUFFS on speed dial now, because no one looks good in handcuffs, unless you're into that sort of thing. 1-800-NO-CUFFS.
Here, Roseville, think Lexus. Now think hyper convenient, because you can schedule your service appointment online at LexusofRoseville.com 24/7. Located in the Roseville Auto Mall.
Sports 1140 KHTK's coverage of high school football is presented by Wingstop. Listen every Friday night to the Wingstop High School Football Wrap-Up Show and get all the coverage on KHTK.com.
Now your sports update. Sports update. Powered by Mercury Insurance.
Hey, it's Kyle Madson, and these are your top stories on Sports 1140. Week 4 of the NFL season kicked off with a bang as the Rams beat the Vikings 38-31. That's a nice game. It featured 50 first downs and 1,002 yards of total offense. The rest of Week 4 starts Sunday. The 49ers, hey, you got it. The 49ers are on the road against the Chargers while the Raiders come home to face the Browns at Oakland. Both kickoffs are set for 1 o'clock. The A's didn't get any help from the Rays, who fell to the Yankees 12-1 yesterday. So in order to host the wild card game, Oakland needs to sweep their series against the Angels, which begins tonight. You can hear the first game on Sports 1140. Pregame 6:45, first pitch 7:05. But then the A's also need the Red Sox to sweep the Yankees in their 3-game series, which also begins tonight.
It's a lot of sweeping.
Tough task.
Oof.
Tough task.
I'm telling you, they're going to be tied.
The Rockies, it's a very, very real possibility of that.
It's my fault.
The Rockies last night also won while the Dodgers were idle. So Colorado now leads the NL West by a full game going into the last few days of the season. So an exciting race in the National League West. It's 7:35 and time to get to StocktonHonda.com. Anytime, anywhere.
It's The Drive on Sports 1140 KHTK.
We're doing a music refresh here in the next week or two. We're going to change all our songs, most of them. I'm really on the fence about Africa. I'm really on the fence. There's 4 songs in particular that we play throughout the morning. Sean Salisbury, by the way, in a couple minutes, that have deep, deep meaning. California Love coming out of the gate. That's Uriah Faber's intro music. Sacramento, that's a shout out.
Yeah, that wasn't even, I didn't even put 2 and 2 together with Uriah when I picked that song.
Sure. No,
just started playing it every day.
Just started playing it every single day, and it fits perfectly. Jet, Cold Hard Bitch, which I believe leads off our 8 o'clock. I'm sorry, Cold Hard B word.
Thanks.
That was the California Love of my night show for the entire run. The song we'd play at 9 o'clock was that song by Jet. Uprising by Muse, which that actually does lead off our 8 o'clock hour. Uprising by Muse was the track I would play on my podcast when the Kings were going to Seattle, whenever we'd have breaking news that would be pumping people up or would affect it. The lyrics in the song, they will not destroy us, we will be victorious, that type of thing. That wasn't an accident. The opening song for my podcast I could never play on this station because it's a song called MF by AWOL Nation, and the MF stands for exactly what you think it stands for, and is said probably 70 times in the song.
Melting fries?
Yes. And then Africa and Rubber Chickens have become kind of the mascot and the official song of the show.
Yeah, very, very strange how that all kind of went down, but I'm happy that it did.
So I
never thought that Africa by Toto would be this big of a part of my life.
Well, you know what?
Alas, here we are.
It should be a big part of everyone's life, alas.
God, I couldn't agree more.
We will take also your big predictions for the weekend. If you want to text them in as well or tweet us at the Drive 1140, just use hashtag Drive 1140. By the way, Sean Salisbury is ready. Big prediction for the weekend. Do you have a big upset? Do you have somebody having an amazing game? You want to call your shot? You know what? Let's call the segment Call Your Shot. That's so much better than your big prediction. It's so dumb. People still going back and forth on old versus new school NFL offenses on the text line. Another idea I'm toying with too, Kyle, who's on the phone with Sean, so I'm just really talking to myself. I think I want a chat room for this show. I think that's something I want to mess with too. I like the idea of listeners interacting with each other in a live forum where I can watch. I got to talk to the digital guys who are much, much smarter than I. See what they say. I like the idea. Kyle, your initial thoughts, live chat room for the show? Your thoughts, 339-1140?
I feel like that's what the text line is.
But where they can interact with each other. I want people arguing with each other
in
the chat room.
I think that is a terrible idea.
Okay. Well, just shoot down all my good ideas. Joining us right now, the host of the Sean Salisbury Show on Sports Talk 790. Doing the math in my head, that is 1:24 Pacific time. Right there in Houston, you can listen to it on the iHeart app. Our dear, dear friend and the best in the business, Sean Salisbury. Good morning, Sean.
Good morning. How you doing?
Sean, I'm doing good. I want to start off with this. You're a little bit older than me, but not a lot older than me. We're I think the difference between Kyle and I is about the same, me and you. So we're three kind of different levels of generation here. And I'm not making an old joke. What I'm saying is that just as I said hello to you, I had this weird deja vu and realized that it seems like 20 minutes ago that I was saying hello to you last Friday. I think that's something about getting older where the weeks just get quicker and quicker and quicker.
Yeah, it's great because you want to get to the weekend, but it sucks because that means life's rolling along too quickly. So I try to slow it down a little bit, but you're right, man. Deja vu and Groundhog Day. We got to prevent that. But it's good to be back on with you, my man.
Buddy, I want to do a preemptive strike. I've seen you already tagged in a couple. You're gonna see tweets from me talking about how the roughing the passer rules aren't strong enough and how they should be even stronger and players should get ejected. That's a bit we do every Friday where we try to troll people on Twitter with the dumbest take possible.
I was going to say, I knew you had to be kidding.
Yes.
I would have gone through the roof, but I wasn't buying the troll job. So
good man. You know me too well. Here's the deal. Kyle and I were going back and forth, and I do think it's an interesting question. Kyle, obviously younger than us, and obviously generations go at it. I'm kind of in the old head group where I think, God, would we be seeing anything close to these performances in this offense in the 80s with the defenses played out? And Kyle says, you know what, that's part of it, but the game's evolved, and you're seeing better coordination, you're seeing better coaching, and you're seeing better players. In a way, Sean, are we kind of both right?
Yeah. Oh, there's no question. And I don't know if we're seeing better coaches. I don't think they teach. I mean, and nobody's going to tell me that, that Mike Tomlin is a better coach than Chuck Noll. I just think the game has evolved, and Kyle's right, and so are you. It's like salaries. Where you start to think about it. You imagine this, John Elway or Joe Montana or any of those guys will never make the salary. It would have taken them a decade or close to make the money that Ryan Tannehill. I mean, the 5-year salary or more at the prime of their career.
Sure.
To make what Tannehill's going to make. Tannehill, I'm just using him as an example. They're 3-0. He's going to make in one season. So those things evolve. I mean, it's just the way it is, and somebody gets a contract, the next one is same with football. I mean, we got guys that – here's what people don't understand. What Sean McVay is doing now, what Andy Reid's doing with Mahomes, Sid Gilman and Don Coryell were doing years ago, Fouts, Jefferson, Chuck Muncie, Wes Chandler, all that stuff.
Walsh.
There's only so much – it was already run. That's already been run. They're just doing it out of different formations. It's a different era because more people see it because it's not just 1 or 2 games a week. We see all the games. You can get every game. So Sid Gilman, Don Coryell, Bill Walsh, they were all doing this. It's just versions of it, like anything else. We don't bunt anymore in baseball. We used to bunt all the time. We don't run as much as we used to. Ricky Henderson steal 100 base a year. We don't have guys steal. If you get to 80 stolen bases, heck, you'll be the champ for 4 years. I mean, in sports it evolves. So I don't think the athletes are bigger and stronger, faster. The brand, I mean, the product's not better. Look at the defense. The Pittsburgh Steelers, some of those guys, Jack Lambert's defenses, they destroyed some of these teams. So, yeah, but I love seeing points scored. I mean, we never saw 60 to 54 games in college football. Basketball scores for a Texas Tech, West Virginia game or Oklahoma. So, yeah, I don't think it's such a bad thing, but football purists may not like it. So it does evolve, and it's not better coaching because look at tackling. Tackling's the worst I've ever seen it. Tackling's the worst I've ever seen it. Mike Singletary couldn't take this when he played. So it doesn't mean that, this is just old man talk. The athletes are spectacular. It's just there's so many other – we don't want the knockout shot in football because then you get on SportsCenter's top 10. There's a lot of things that have changed. But there's also – some of these guys have far more guts. Like Sean McVay is not willing to line up in 2 tight ends and 2 receivers and hand the ball off 4 times in a row. He's going to spread you out. I mean, the Doug Petersons of the world. We're doing stuff now that – you do. I mean, it's phenomenal, the stuff we're doing now with formations. But the play calls and the things we are doing as far as how we do it and posts and the reverses, that's stuff we've always done. It's just variations of it and how you're getting to it. And we're emptying the backfield more. We're in shotgun more. Montana would have never taken a shotgun snap. They hated taking – I don't think Joe ever took a shotgun snap under Bill Walsh because he didn't want to take his eyes off the coverage. He didn't want to catch the ball. You got to catch it and see the ball. Your eyes come off the coverage. Joe didn't want to do that. These athletes are more well-trained, and we're just doing different variations of stuff we've done, years ago, and we got faster, bigger athletes to do it with, which makes it pretty special.
Sean Salisbury with us. And Sean, we don't often do the whole, well, Sean, you used to play thing, but I think this is very appropriate here. You did play in the 80s. You did play under some of those rules. So as an ex-quarterback, do you think if you were playing against today's defenses and today's rules, do you think it would have made a positive effect on your statistical output?
I think so, and I'll tell you why. And back one other thing, and we talked about evolution of sports. Look at the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah.
Look what they've done to change the game. Now, if you're a quarter of them, just even though in the 70s they didn't have a 3-point line in the NBA, or the 80s, but think about with just the addition of that now and the way the Rockets and Golden State, these teams are playing. Analytics tell them, don't put your foot 4 inches inside the 3-point line. Step back and hit a 3. So the game's changed. Doesn't mean that Golden State would have beat the 80s Celtics or Lakers.
Sure.
Maybe they would have. It depends on what brand of basketball they're playing. So for me, yeah, you know what? Here's what I want to guard against when people say, well, now do I believe let me use Dan Marino, for example. Do I believe Dan could have thrown for 6,000 yards in a system like this? Yeah, here's why. As a quarterback, mentally, a lot of the stuff that goes into it, and for me, yeah, stats would have been better. Think about it. Now, Elway, when I was playing, if you completed 59 to 60% of your passes, and because I was in that era of Elway and Marino and Kelly, you were pretty accurate. Now, if you don't complete 65% of your passes, you're just a guy. If you complete 58% or 59% of your passes now, we actually call you an inaccurate quarterback who couldn't drop it in the ocean if you were standing in it, and it's true. And so that part's changed because with formations and specialization and as many times as we're throwing the football. So for me, yeah, and I'll tell you why. I mean, I think for all of us, not saying that these guys have it, that they're not better than we are or that we were better than them, and we all have what we consider a golden era, whatever that is. But, I mean, we're throwing the ball more than we ever have at an alarming rate, so more reps. But not all reps are good reps. But when you're throwing it and you've got good reps, I mean, you're getting more work than you've ever got. But for me, here's the thing with a quarterback now, is that you know that if you get hit, you can hold the ball a split second longer and let a third guy come open. Because if you get hit, there's a chance. It seems like a 50. I mean, I'm talking about on hits on a quarterback. If you get hit 6 times a game, tell me if you're not looking for a flag every time a quarterback gets hit.
Yeah.
Like we do on punts and kickoffs now. So the human nature and that subconscious part of you, or even conscious now for these quarterbacks, what would stop you from saying, you know what, these guys are going to back off a little bit, play a little more passive aggressive, so I can hold the ball a split second longer and deliver it to the third guy instead of take off and run or throw this one out of bounds. So inevitably what happens, there's an 80 extra yards on your statistics, and if you do get hit, even if it's a clean hit now, there's a really good chance. We've had 33 or 34 penalties. We're twice the amount we've had at this point in time last year. I can't remember the last time we had 4 personal foul calls on a quarterbacks in a game in one game. I mean, these defensive players getting urinated on, they'll make a clean hit, and they're getting penalized. I don't even know how great defensive coaches teach it. I would not know how to teach tackling to a defense now if I was out there coaching defense and I can coach defense, but I wouldn't know how to teach it because you say, well, this is a good tackle and a clean tackle everywhere else we've ever learned it, and now head up, shoulder to the torso, wrap them up, see what you hit, don't put your helmet on them, is getting flagged. Right when the ball's released by the quarterback, not a 2-step running start. So, yes, of course, that's not to say these guys are the Mahomes of the world aren't good, but they do have it easier because when I played, you could take 2.5 steps, put your crown in your helmet in the guy's chin, and you didn't get penalized. So you tell me, when you're staring down the gun barrel and you're getting the living dog crap kicked out of you, the ball comes out a little quicker, yeah. So if you're telling me could Marino do what Mahomes is doing right now, absolutely. Would Elway be better and more accurate in this era than he was in his? Yes. Does that mean that those guys couldn't play, the Mahomes couldn't play in our era? I don't believe that at all. I think he could. But it's just everything changes. And, hell yeah, stats would be better because you got bigger ball. You got the balls of a daytime burglar then because you know, well, even if I do get this hit, there used to be, well, no penalty. Could be a tip ball pick. Now, even if I throw a pick, it may come back. I'll get the ball back because they're going to call a flag. So when you're 50% of the time thinking as a defensive player that if I just touch the quarterback, somebody's throwing a flag on me, that's not football. We have lost the integrity of physicality. And in the process of trying to be safer we've gone so far overboard, we have overcorrected. And when quarterbacks are saying we've overcorrected in this league, we got a major problem.
Hey, Sean, how long is Charles Martin suspended for that hit on Jim McMahon if it happens today?
Oh, he would have been out for a minimum of half a year.
Right.
Minimum of half a year.
2 games.
Everybody would have called him. Everybody. Matter of fact, and they would have called him into the NFL office and like just got somebody. I mean, it's crazy. And it was a dirty play.
Yes.
Nowadays, he would have been. It would have been It would have been a suspension through the roof. There's no question.
And just for the record, that was the hit on Jim McMahon. Tore the shoulder. McMahon was out for the season. Martin gets 2 games as a suspension, which, by the way, was the first multi-game suspension in NFL history for a hit. That's crazy how times change. Sean Salisbury joining us. You can hear him on his Houston show each and every afternoon. We'll make sure to plug that again in the iHeart app at the end of our conversation. Sean, you made me think of something in all our years I've never asked you. When games end, and quarterback, the coaches go and you see the handshake, and usually the 2 starting quarterbacks find each other and they talk, and the cameras are surrounding them. What is the typical thing you're saying to each other, and did you ever have a weird experience that stood out to you when shaking hands with the other quarterback?
No, not really. You know what it is? It's if you know the guys from off-season stuff or playing against them, it's the simple. It's filled with BS.
Okay.
After the game, because one's happy. The one guy who's just got his ass kicked doesn't really want to say anything. He'll go up to, you go up and put your arm around him and say, hey, congratulations. Now, if it's the end of the Super Bowl, you'll see guys like whisper in each other's ear and talk a little longer. It's nothing more, honestly, than, hey, congrats, stay healthy. Stay healthy. We'll see you in game 2. We'll see you in the playoffs. We'll see you down the road. I'll talk to you later, man. Good luck. It's nothing more than that usually. Or if it's a veteran talking to a young player, like if Manning was talking to Mahomes, if he was still Brady, and Brady beat Mahomes, he'd say, you got a great future, hang in there. That's all it is. Where the funner pleasantries come in the heavy dose of fun talk is before the game. Like I remember in Denver, John and I would be talking, there's a picture of him and I together, which I cherish. We'd be talking we spent 15, 20 minutes on the field before the game, during one, just talking and catching up about everything. And then I had the best game of my career, so afterwards you want to go up and say, man, I got you, but you don't. But you know what I'm saying? So that sticks out, but rarely is there quarterback exchange where it's anything other than congrats, good luck, stay healthy after the game. They're very minimal, and really, quite frankly, it's like a scripted, hey, talk to you later, even if it's your buddy, because one's pissed off, one isn't. And I personally think the post-game handshake is overrated and stupid. I don't think coaches should have to walk across. It's made for TV. I think during the pregame, when they're standing at midfield talking while the teams are warming up, we should talk, saying, hey, man, I know after the game we may not be able to catch up. Congratulations. Good luck. I'll call you later this week or what have you, and get on with it. Okay, this forcing a guy after the game to shake a hand, like in the NBA, when they lose, they don't shake hands after every game in a 7-game series in the playoffs.
Sure.
They wait till the end usually. So I just don't. I love sportsmanship, but you know what? You're fishing for trouble if there was some controversy in the game and the coaches guy, like what happened with Schwartz and Jim Harbaugh.
Right.
One taps one a little too hard. It's just it's one's happy and one's pissed. And if you're Nick Saban, even if you won by 40, you're pissed. So there's really not much to gain, but I understand the sportsmanship and sending the message to younger people, but we overdo that post-game handshake crap.
1 to 4 p.m. in Houston on the iHeart app, the Sean Salisbury Show on Sports Talk 790. Connect with him. He's always great in talking to everybody at Sean Unfiltered, and Sean appears with us each and every Friday at 7:35. Buddy, appreciate you. I'll talk to you in another 15 minutes next Friday.
All right, my man. Thank you.
All right, take care. That is Sean Salisbury. Interesting. I always wondered what quarterbacks said to each other. I figured that was it. That'd be great if they were just like exchanging recipes. Dude, did you try those bacon wrap wings I told you about last year?
Dynamite. Tried them in an air fryer. Not as good,
Not
though.
as good. No.
No, I know. I did the same thing.
Did you see that latest episode of All My Children? Can you believe what's going on with Dr. Bentley? Oh, my God. That would just be the greatest if those were the conversations. Food, soap operas.
I used to do that when I played baseball as a catcher. And if our pitcher was struggling, because we played tournaments, so we're out there, all weekend. You get to the end of a weekend, guys. I'd run out there and try and get their mind off baseball for a second. And I'd just be like, do you think we're going to Applebee's or Chili's after this? And some of the looks I got were really great. And I wish that that's the conversation that was going down. Like, hey, we hitting the steakhouse tonight?
Did you guys ever sacrifice a live chicken? Like in Bull Durham?
No.
No? You've seen Bull Durham, haven't you?
Yeah, my eyelids were jammed.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, I got you. We'll take a break.
I've seen Bull Durham so many times.
When we get back, want to remind you guys of a contest we will be doing on Monday that could make you watching sports much more fun. Also, Dave Richard will join us. Get in right now. People always say at 8:30 every Friday, oh, I had this question for Dave Richard. Nah. Get in now. 1-800-920-1140, 44-1140. And I'm glad the texter texted this in on the Jiffy Lube text line. Have we heard any Kyle movie review updates recently? The answer is no, and we'll address that when we get back right here.
That's fine.
On Sports 1140 KHTK.